Hey, deserving listeners, 90 Day Fiancé. Let's watch.
Oh my God.
You know, it's just sometimes he'll be saying some stuff and I'm like, did you think about that before it came out of your mouth? You know, it's just like maybe naive, you know, like how, you know, kids can be naive and they just say things sometimes and you're like,
Yikes. I was under the impression that this attitude of he's a child and naive and dumb and incompetent was an anomaly and would crop up when she was stressed out, like when she was trying to organize that one event with the balloons and stuff, and she would resort to it. But in this moment, they're rewatching clips from the season when they were talking about the computer issue, which was really one of the only fights they had. And he was saying he wanted to buy a computer, and she was saying, we only have this amount of money, and you're not going to be able to work for a while, so maybe you should just use my computer. And, you know, I could see both sides, and I said that at the time. And so I think maybe that triggered her because she's seen Guillermo talking a little bit of crap about her in an interview. But wow, this attitude that she has, this condescending, really putting him down. You see in the comments, people would be really up in arms against Cara. And I thought, I never really understood it. I mean, I understood being a little concerned for Guillermo, but I didn't really, but maybe people were detecting this, or when I saw this or hints of this in the season, I didn't think that was the rule. I thought of it more as the exception. But is she revealing how she, because there's not any reason for her to be putting him down in this moment.
like, oh, that's cute because they're little. But there's times that I don't act 30. I mean, there's times
I
that
don't judge you.
You say you admit the fact that you treat him like a child. Does that make any sense? This is somebody who's going to be like the father of your child?
I know grown-ass men that still act like children.
Okay. I think what that is revealing is that she's maybe had a number of relationships like that. I don't know. But when she said that, it sounded like she was speaking from experience in terms of the dynamic that she had.
About the laptop, you told me to get a toothbrush. That's condescending. It's controlling. You said, why don't we start with the toothbrush?
Yeah, it's affordable.
No, it's condescending. He's talking about a laptop, you bring up a toothbrush.
Well, that detail isn't condescending, I would say. I would say it's more condescending, her demeanor, the way she talks to him, the words, choices that she uses.
It's just like, it's controlling. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to shut down him as fast as you can, as soon as he has an idea, as soon as he has a thought.
I mean, I think I thoroughly explained why we didn't need a laptop. And I was like, all right, well, let's start with something small. A toothbrush. Could be anything. A toothbrush, pair of underwear, like a sock.
I mean, when she puts it that way, it is condescending. Like, I'll buy you a toothbrush. It's like, well, that's not in the same category as a computer so that I can actually get some work done, or I don't know. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I guess I now understand maybe why some people were reactive to Cara, because her attitude and her stance and her lack of awareness around this is different than what I thought. I mean, again, we saw this at the beginning of the season. I don't know, I just got the impression like she had insight into that issue, or at least it didn't crop up very often or something. But this seems to be the foundation of their relationship, that she just believes, even when she's not triggered, that he is an idiot and that he's a child and that she has the right to condescend to him.
Couple of times.
Couple of times.
But we're not just talking about using the laptop. We're talking about, like what he said, American woman, like the attitude of controlling, especially when a foreigner just getting, or your fiancé from a different country comes in. You feel like there's no respect.
Well, when he says something like, hey.
Well, they should just generalize that to all the Americans, regardless of gender. I mean, look at Bilal. Look at Patrick. I don't know why women are... So it's another example of when there's a problem, women get thrown under the bus and men either get ignored or praised for the same behavior.
We have a limited budget, but I want a computer. I'm thinking, where's his brain thinking that he needs a computer?
It's so bad. During the season, I'm always suspicious of editing, of even when they're doing the one-on-one interviews, I'm always like, how did they, because they always heavily edit those one-on-one interviews, so much so that I'm like, who knows what was really said in that moment. They will, in one sentence that one of the cast members will utter, there will be 7 edits cobbling together one sentence. And but so when I see stuff in the season, I'm always like, well, I wonder what's really happening. And there are times when I feel like I can see through the edit and actually, and sometimes the edit is accurate, but anyway. But now Cara's just talking off top. She doesn't even really have to talk right now. She's not being addressed. She's volunteering this. She feels justified. This is truth to her. This is okay. And she's not triggered because he didn't do anything. Guillermo didn't do anything. He didn't just do something naive in her eyes. This is just general talk about what's happening. And the way she's talking at Guillermo is just so belittling. It's really upsetting. It's interesting to me because I'll be honest, this whole season has been a little lackluster compared to other seasons of 90 Day Fiancé. Not because we don't have someone like Angela and that will do all sorts of overt things. I'm not saying that, but like I don't know if it was last season, but Gino and Jasmine, there was, I think, legit things happening and very dramatic things happening and a lot of things to say. And they had their ups and downs and they stayed together in the end and they learned from their mistakes and it was hard. And that was interesting. There was something to grab onto and it was entertaining, shall we say, in terms of watching the progress there. And this season, there didn't seem to be much of that. And I thought, well, maybe these couples are just doing really well and there's just not a lot to point a camera at. But when I see stuff like this during the tell-all, I'm like, why wasn't this focused on more? Because Cara seemingly has a much bigger problem than what was highlighted in the show. I mean, she's just revealing this attitude of condescension and superiority, and that Guillermo is this flailing idiot. And it's just, I did not expect this to happen.
Have some, like, I just wanted to have some independencia, a little bit.
I know where
That's
you're
it,
coming from, and I'm not blaming you for saying that, but the reality is you have to have conversation and make him feel that you understand and discuss that,
But he has to as well.
Yeah, I think what Muhammad is, if I understand what he's saying, is a 2 thumbs up, is that it's okay to have those concerns about budget, but you have to talk with him. You don't just talk down to him.
It's numbers. It's like math.
Like, you just put him down. It's a put down. Your response is a put down.
Yes. Okay. So now we'll see what she says to that, because that's getting to the heart of the matter.
It's a conversation that from this side, in my opinion, is going very respectful. And from the other side, it's like, no.
But is it hard to see why no? I mean, it's not like it's rocket.
And so Guillermo actually derailed a little bit because Patrick actually got to the heart of the matter. He's like, you're putting him down. You're being mean to him, the way you talk to him. And then Guillermo gets away from that a little bit and says, I'm being respectful and you're saying no. But she'll key in on, well, I'm saying no because it's logical to say no. Instead of what he could have said was, yeah, honey, it's okay to say no. It's the way you say no.
Okay, if you're talking about communication, let's communicate.
You would prefer, Guillermo, I just feel like right now it's not a good idea.
Oh, that sarcasm, that superiority. I did not know Cara had this. I think a lot of people were picking up on this and I was not. That is a massive yikes. Oh, ooh, ugh, upsetting. I mean, just that. Oh my goodness.
Okay, if you're talking about communication, let's communicate.
You would prefer, Guillermo, I just feel like right now it's not a good idea. Would that be better?
Man, you don't know how much that means to men.
There's a saying.
Why does everything have to be genderized? You don't know how much that means. It's like everything is seen through gender. How about you don't know what that would mean to everyone? No one wants to be... Is no one looking at Bilal and Shaida? Now, he's right that it does mean something to men when you don't condescend to them and is hurtful when you are condescending. But it's also true for every human being. No one wants to be condescended to.
that like 90% of the problems in the world is not the difference of opinion, but the tone used.
Will someone please listen to Kobe? Will Kobe become a therapist? Kobe, you should be a therapist. I know you, what was he saying he was doing? He's doing some sort of quality control job, which if that's what he wants to do, that's great. But he's really not capitalizing on his talent. He sees right through it. And we saw a result of that with Emily. He managed it pretty well. And so he just hits right to it. It's tone. It's your tone, Cara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tells me that a lot.
All right, we are going to.
Wait, so did Cara just agree? I don't understand. So she agrees with that? Let's rewind that.
It's
No,
rocket
okay.
science.
If you're talking about communication, let's
So, I mean,
communicate.
you would prefer, Guillermo, I just feel like right now it's not a good idea. Would that be better?
Man, you don't know how much that means to men.
There's a saying that like 90% of the problems in the world is not the difference of opinion, but the tone used.
Yeah.
So she says yes, Guillermo is agreeing. So maybe Cara does know that and she's just playing it up? I don't know. How could she, well, I guess Kobe's being so reasonable, it'd be hard to disagree with him. But does Cara really know what Kobe is saying? It doesn't seem so, because if she really did, she'd be like, huh, well, yeah, maybe I have had terrible tone for the past 5 minutes and I should really look at myself in the mirror. Is that what's happening? All right, well, that does it for that episode. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.